Jake was 48 when he walked down the aisle. For the first time, his bride, Amanda, had just turned 30. Practically everyone he knew warned him against it, concerned about the 18-year difference. They told him she came from a different world, with modern values and priorities. But Jake didn't care. He cherished every moment with Amanda. Just the thought of coming home to a young, radiant wife filled him with joy. They'd first met at a cafe. Jake was dining with a business associate when Amanda walked in with a few friends, sipping coffee and laughing. She radiated energy, and Jake was drawn to her light. He struck up a conversation, and before long, they were seeing each other, exchanging flowers, going on late night walks, sharing quiet, tender dates. Amanda's spark made Jake feel younger. Her presence brought him back to life. He felt unstoppable, like her love gave him strength to move mountains. Back then, Amanda worked in HR. Jake often hinted that she should quit, but she never budged. She insisted on maintaining her own independence. He admired her dedication, watching her get ready for work in the morning, her glowing skin catching the light, made Jake feel like the luckiest man alive. I interviewed a couple of candidates yesterday, she mentioned one morning as she zipped her jeans. One starts today. Jake loved how passionate she was about her job. Want to go out tonight? He asked. Sure, she said, smiling before kissing him and heading out the door. That night, he picked her up and they dined at a cozy restaurant. Jake was used to the stares. People often glanced at the pair, a 48-year-old man and his stunning 30-year-old wife. But he embraced it. Her youth, her laughter. It made him proud. So how was your day? Did anyone get hired? Jake asked as the steaming dishes arrived. Yeah, we brought in two, Amanda replied. Ben and Stacy. They chatted with ease, enjoying good food and soft jazz. Jake reached under the table, brushing his hand along her leg. Amanda grinned with a tipsy charm that warmed his chest. But over time, things began to shift. Amanda became overly sweet, almost too perfect. She cooked at home, doted on him constantly, and skipped their usual nights out. Jokingly, Jake asked, "What's gotten into you? Making up for something?" She shrugged. "Don't be silly. Unless you don't like it, I love it," he replied, pulling her into a hug. Still, her phone kept buzzing, more than usual, and she had started tilting the screen away when reading messages. It was subtle, but different. Jake asked about it, and she brushed it off as work. "We're slammed. I have to stay on call." Then one night, she said she had to work late. Jake texted, "On my way," and drove over. She saw the message but didn't respond. Outside the building, he waited until she appeared, walking out with a young guy who looked barely out of full. They hugged briefly, both smiling. Jealousy hit Jake hard. He honked. Amanda waved, then climbed into the car. "Who's that?" he asked. "Just a co-worker," she replied. "Remember Ben, the intern? He's only 19. Can you believe it?" She giggled. Jake's tension eased a little. Maybe he really was just a kid. Maybe he was overthinking. Jake reminded himself he could be paranoid at times. But Amanda stayed late more and more. Every time Jake picked her up, Ben was with her. It gnawed at him. He tried to ignore it. The one time he mentioned his concern, it sparked a massive fight. Amanda left, and stayed in a hotel for a week. Jake didn't want to risk that again. He bottled it all up. Then one warm evening, after another ignored message, Jake decided to walk up to her office. From the parking lot he saw the lights still on. With each step toward the third floor, his heart beat faster, as though bracing for impact. He reached the hallway. Her door was slightly open. The room seemed quiet, until he heard muffled sounds, soft moans, gentle gasps. Without thinking, he pushed the door open and saw her, Amanda, on her knees in front of Ben, his pants around his ankles, her top gone. Ben scrambled, trying to pull his pants up, terror in his eyes. Amanda, half naked, sat frozen, unable to meet Jake's gaze. Jake stormed over, grabbed Ben by the collar. The boy whimpered. Jake raised his fist, but stopped as Ben burst into tears. Jake let him go. Ben fled down the stairs in shame. "What did I do wrong, Amanda?" Jake's voice cracked. "I gave you everything." Amanda collapsed, sobbing. "I don't. No, I couldn't stop thinking about him. I made a mistake." She wept into Jake's chest, begging for forgiveness. He held her. They both cried, her drenched in guilt, Jake in heartbreak. She kissed his cheeks through tears. "Please forgive me," she begged. Jake tried. For 6 months they battled, through pain, endless fights, and flashbacks. Jake couldn't erase that image, Amanda, on her knees, Ben with his pants down. Eventually, Jake gave up. He told her to leave and filed for divorce. He thought about the dreams he once had, getting a big dog, buying a car, and hitting the open road. Maybe now, with his heart in pieces, it was time to chase them. The betrayal was fresh. He didn't know if he'd ever trust again. Amanda stayed at her job for a while before moving to a different city. She remarried, had a child, but that marriage collapsed too. Oddly, Ben followed her there. They tried dating, but it fizzled quickly. In the end, Amanda was left alone. Maybe that was fate's justice. She had shattered the man who loved her most, and karma didn't let her forget.